I think we can start off. Then we shall see. Let others join in between. Okay. So we'll continue with the same management audit today. So last time we discussed about the basics of management audit, like what all it covers and which all functions, and then how management audit is important for the organization. So today we'll discuss more in advance about the management audit, what all it covers. And generally, when we discuss about what all function it covers, what are the planning aspect, coordination aspect, those were the basics that we go about the activity wise. जो हम activity wise इसमें cover करते हैं. Now today we'll go in detail about the cost management, the management audit. Now during this management audit, couple of new things we'll be talking about today that you would not have come across these words like कुछ आपने सुना भी होगा, but couple of new things that you will hear about is how to audit some of the new areas when we talk about, let's say, corporate social responsibility, how this becomes important, what is corporate culture. So I mean, let's begin with corporate culture. What we mean by corporate culture. Corporate culture is basically, for every company there is a different type of culture, and culture is what? Culture is basically the values of the organization and a belief, that is with which, and a behavior which works within the organization. पूरी कंपनी का एक core value होता है. Some companies have value towards customer centric. वो कहते हैं वो customer centric होते हैं, मतलब their entire focus is about the customers. Some companies have the values that they will deliver everything in a very honest way. I mean, they talk about their product quality, और उसमें कहते हैं zero defect के साथ हम चीजें अपनी deliver करते हैं. Some companies, they say that हमारा focus जो है, we want to reach out to common man. We want to meet their needs, और हम उन्हें we want to make the things available at a very reasonable cost, low cost. So the corporate values differs. Some companies, the corporate value is making the profits, and where they want to see means how company is making profit, what are the different ways of reaching to that market expansion. Their entire focus is on a financial growth. So see, in some companies they are very employee friendly. So the value and the belief keeps on differ organization to organization. So we'll talk about, so what we mean by corporate culture. It's a value, belief, and behavior on the basis of which we say this kind of company is there. हम कहते हैं कुछ companies में culture अच्छा नहीं है, then what happens? They are not employee friendly. They are very strict. Some companies, this company is very employee friendly, or this company is very customer friendly. You go, customer asks for anything, and then they do it for the customer. बोले यार यहाँ तो customer की कोई सुनता ही नहीं है. So these are the different corporate values. तो किसी कंपनी में आप जाते हैं, I'll share one experience with you. When I was taking a flight, जब मैं fly कर रहा था, तो एक airlines थी, तो वहाँ पे मैंने I was not happy with the service. जब मैं उतरा मेरी flight delay हो गई. तो that company, that airlines gave me a hotel stay free of cost along with the food and everything, क्योंकि उनकी वजह से मेरी flight delay हो गई थी. So some companies, they value their customers like anything. अगर कोई चीज खराब हो गई, they say okay, you will get a new product. So they are very customer friendly. They're customer oriented. They talk about their product quality. कुछ companies में अपने employees के लिए बहुत अच्छे होते हैं. They say no, this is our employee. Firstly, the hiring process is really tough, and then they do anything to retain their employees for their growth and everything, because they believe कि employee है तभी company एक अच्छी service अपने customers को दे सकती. So these are different values. So simple language में क्या कहेंगे? Corporate culture is operating working environment, and it's shaped by the way people conduct in the work. So some people say, okay यार तुम एक काम करो, निपटाओ यार फटाफट, आज इतना पूरा करना है. They say no यार निपटाना नहीं है, but we have to deliver the value. 10 दो, भले ही 10 दो, 20 मत दो, but these 10 has to be good one, and meet your commitment. Don't do over commitment with the customer. ये नहीं है कि कल के दिन बोला ओके सर आपको 10 पीस चाहिए या 10 की डिलीवरी चाहिए, we'll make it by tomorrow, and then you take the order and then you are not able to deliver. तो मार्केट में इस तरीके की बहुत सारी चीजें चलती हैं which is not appreciated at times. So that's the another value which keeps on happening. I mean, there are different practices which are being followed. So what happens? कॉर्पोरेट कल्चर में क्या होता है? कॉर्पोरेट कल्चर, हाउ दिस हेल्प्स एनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, इट कीप्स द enterprise, a company, as a family, and brings the feeling of closeness among all. Means all employees, top management, even their suppliers, they are united, they work as a team. और उसी वजह से क्या होता है? It helps to deliver best services to their customer. It helps organization to meet their objectives. It helps them to face the difficult time. जैसे आजकल कोरोना टाइम चल रहा है, बहुत सारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में दे आर डूइंग ले ऑफ, काफी लोगों की सैलरी कम हो गई है. सो दिस इज अ कॉर्पोरेट कल्चर. Some companies are not throwing back their employees, they are engaging them. They have reduced their salary but they still work. Or employees आज की डेट में, they are working within the company, they are working towards how to reduce cost, they are coming up with the ideas. So it's a culture of the company, it's a corporate culture. So it this is what it matters. और उसी से this is what decides about the destiny of the company also. So it must be understood that corporate culture is always independent of corporate policies, usually from corporate leaders, even though it belongs to all the employees collectively. So it's a mix of the employee, management, your suppliers, and everything. Some companies are very supplier friendly. They know कि यार आज की डेट में अगर मुझे कोई सर्विसेज देनी है मार्केट में, मेरे सप्लायर्स अगर खुश नहीं है तो हम नहीं दे सकते. Their entire business is based on that. आज की डेट में जितनी भी टेलीकॉम कंपनीज है, जितने भी इनके टावर्स लगे हुए हैं, वो अपने सप्लायर्स को बहुत खुश रखते हैं, वो उनकी पेमेंट्स डिले नहीं होने देते. सो दीज आर द कॉर्पोरेट वैल्यूज एंड देन कॉर्पोरेट कल्चर. मैनेजमेंट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, बिल्डिंग अप कॉर्पोरेट कल्चर किस किस चीज से बिल्डअप होगा? What all we talk about for the corporate culture? It talks about commitment to honest productivity. We are not talking about producing products which are not up to the mark, or they carry defects. They say we will produce something which meets the desired customer expectation and desired accuracy and purity, planned performance and growth. So it what? Planned performance and growth. So they do not work, they work in a very planned manner, planned growth. This year we'll go with a 20% growth, next year 40% likewise. I mean, performance is also being planned. Now next month, next time we'll grow this much. So it talks about that. Informed organization. So the information flows through the organization. Organization में information क्या है? Flow करती है. कैसे? It's being communicated through proper channels. आप देखेंगे काफी सारे circulars आते हैं companies में. They distribute the various journals about the growth of the company, new initiatives, और उसके वो emails के ऊपर share करते हैं. So there is very informing and informed organization. Considering the others in the partnership with the organization, likewise I mentioned you the suppliers, जो पार्टनर्स होते हैं आपके, या फिर जो दूसरे आपके जो कस्टमर्स को भी वो अपने यहाँ पार्टनरशिप में लेते हैं, बिकॉज विदाउट कस्टमर्स दे कैन नॉट सर्वाइव. सो दे टेक एम्प्लॉय, सारे के सारे स्टेक होल्डर्स, द इन्वेस्टर्स आल्सो. पार्टिसिपेटिव मैनेजमेंट, it means when likewise in today's scenario, we see there is an epidemic going on. So what is happening? Management wants to reduce cost. Management wants to retain their resources. अपने resources को भी retain करना चाहते हैं. What to do? अब वो क्या करेंगे? So what they do? They involve the suggestions coming from their employees also. अपने employees से भी वो suggestion invite करते हैं. That what to do? How to reduce cost? What is the best way to work? What customer wants? How we can make the product available? हम अपनी sale कैसे बढ़ा सकते हैं? I mean different ways. It's a participative management where everybody participates. Good employee relations. So it's a part of the culture. So one type of company where there is a boss comes and then he says, okay, शाम तक ये सारा काम खत्म हो जाना चाहिए. I don't want to listen any excuses. And evening जिसने नहीं किया है उसकी सैलरी काटो या मतलब whatever it is. So that's one type of culture. So kind of the culture and the kind of the corporate culture that we are talking about, that's motivating. It's about the participative management. It's about the connectivity, commitment for the honest productivity, good employee relations. They keep their employees happy and satisfied. Good decisions. and timely action, which is important for corporate culture. It means it should not happen that they wait for the delays for something to come up. So what to do in case if there are many delays? So what they do? They wait for they do not wait for the things for a long time, and then they keep on taking actions. Let's say there is some issue which has occurred. भाई कहीं पे कोई machine breakdown हो गया है. So a decision has to be taken by the manager. It's a decentralization which happens. अब decentralization में क्या है? That particular divisional manager can take call to repair machine or to replace that machine. It is not that this person needs to wait for vice president to decide about it. Good decisions are being taken and then timely action. ये नहीं 2-2 हफ्ते तक चीजें लटकी पड़ी हैं. This is because there is no action. There's nobody to decide. Quality consciousness. It talks about people who are quality focused. We will make product which meet the desired expectations of the customer. ये नहीं होना चाहिए आज मैंने एक प्रोडक्ट तो देख दिया, it works fine, but 4 दिन बाद उसमें कोई दूसरा डिफेक्ट आ गया. So it's the part of the corporate culture. I mean, what is the focus? If we talk about good companies like Audit, like Mercedes, BMW, they say that my product is a quality product. Apple is a quality product. Samsung, LG say that our products are quality products. So it's their corporate culture. ये उनका corporate culture है. Maintaining quality, mutual trust between employees, between management, higher management, with the suppliers, they have a mutual trust. Futuristic outlook. So management is not thinking about only today or what happened yesterday or maximum tomorrow. They think about next 5 years, 10 years ahead. हमें अगले 10 साल इंडस्ट्री में कैसे अपने आप को मेंटेन करना है. For example, a company may see okay, today we have a 30% share in a market, and down the line in 10 years, 10 साल के बाद or within 10 years, where we want to see? We want to capture at least 70 to 80% market share. We want to be the market leader. That's a futuristic outlook. Helpful nature, inter-institutional and towards neighborhood. It talks about the cooperation within the organization. It's all the part of my corporate culture. Cleanliness, timeliness, truthfulness, open home, orderliness, humility, creativity, learning, sense of values. It all, whatever prevails within the organization to run business operations, constitute the part of my corporate culture. It's a culture which is very, very important for an organization to deliver, to manufacture any product. Because man, machine, material, methods, procedures, it works out when the culture is good. अगर कल्चर ही खराब है, जहां पे बैठ के लड़ाई झगड़े हो रहे हैं, इंटर कन्फ्लिक्शंस है, डिस्पाइट ऑफ बेस्ट प्रोडक्ट अगर आप वहां पे बेस्ट मशीन्स भी लगा देंगे तो भी वो काम नहीं करेगा, बिकॉज कहते हैं ना यहाँ का कल्चर खराब है. सो द कल्चर में क्या क्या इंक्लूड कर रहे हैं हम? ट्रस्ट, क्वालिटी, गुड रिलेशन, एम्प्लॉय रिलेशन, पार्टिसिपेटिव मैनेजमेंट. इट टॉक्स अबाउट ऑल दैट. नाउ इन मैनेजमेंट ऑडिट अभी हम क्या डिस्कस करेंगे? वी विल टॉक अबाउट कॉर्पोरेट सर्विस ऑडिट. Now, in corporate service audit, we discuss about the corporate culture. So we'll cover different department. अभी हमें अलग-अलग sections corporate audit में जो हम cover कर रहे हैं, like corporate services audit. A corporate services audit includes what? What is services? What we mean by services? Services is something or support or infrastructure of a company. So when we say corporate services, means this include public relation, customer assistant or call center, training, engineering, human resource and procedure sector. Procurement, to create new business value and to help company function more effectively by improving internal processes, managing customer relation and extending the organization. So it talks about a network. एक किसकी बात करें? एक नेटवर्क की, inter relationships between the within the function थ्रू हाउ, जैसे मेरा ट्रेनिंग of human resources, procurement, for what? That is for the to deliver good services to customer. So advantages of the corporate services are productivity gain. क्या फायदा होगा इससे? कंपनी की प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ती है, and that leads to cost saving, and then service improvements. कस्टमर को अच्छी सर्विसेज मिलती है. तो जब हम एक सपोर्ट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की बात करते हैं, तो एक कस्टमर को, मेरे को पब्लिक रिलेशनशिप, अब पब्लिक, एक कस्टमर को प्रॉब्लम आई, वो कहाँ जाएगा? ही विल गो टू अ कॉन्टैक्ट सेंटर, ही विल राइट एन ईमेल, क्या किस तरीके से अप्रोच करेगा कंपनी को? अगर किसी लेट्स से अगर वो किसी हॉस्पिटल जाता है, तो वहां कोई पीआर होगा, पब्लिक रिलेशनशिप ऑफिसर होगा, उससे जाके मिलेगा. कोई कॉल सेंटर होगा, वहां पे जाके मिलेगा. कोई एचआर डिपार्टमेंट होगा, वहां से मिलेगा. So I mean, these are the different areas. So all these are basically giving corporate services. So these are, they form the part of my corporate services that need to be very good, because if they are not efficient, corporate services are not good, then it hampers productivity. और productivity का मतलब क्या है? Rework. Rework means एक काम को दूसरी बारी करना. That adds cost. It adds to inefficiencies. और इससे सर्विसेज डाउन होती हैं. Which customer would like to, associate himself with an organization whose services are not good? क्या आप कभी किसी एक टेलीकॉम, एक ऐसा वोडाफोन से कनेक्शन लेना चाहेंगे, या किसी एक टेलीकॉम प्लेयर से, एक ऐसी मोबाइल कंपनी से अपना मोबाइल का सिम लेना चाहेंगे जो कि आपको अच्छी सर्विस नहीं देता है? कल के दिन अगर आपको प्रॉब्लम आए आपके कनेक्शन को लेके, यू कॉल अप पर्टिकुलर कॉल सेंटर, या उनके अगर किसी सर्विस सेंटर जाते हैं, उनकी हेल्पलाइन, हेल्प बूथ जो भी बने हुए उनके, और वहां पे जाके आपको सर्विसेज नहीं मिल रही है. सो इट ऑल टॉक्स अबाउट द कॉर्पोरेट सर्विस ऑडिट. सो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू मेंटेन रिलेशनशिप्स विद कस्टमर्स and for business growth, and to work, to achieve the higher amount of productivity and cost savings, my services has to be good. How this helps? Why these services? अभी हमने जैसे डिस्कस किया, it's a core business area in a form of reduced cost. उससे क्या होगा? If when we reduce cost, we need less working capital, improvement, and higher profits. I mean, cost saving will lead to my less working capital requirement, less inventory, because we are working efficiently. I don't need many resources. अगर एक ही काम को मुझे एक कस्टमर ने जो प्रोडक्ट मैंने उसको डिफेक्टिव दिया, तो मुझे दूसरा प्रोडक्ट देना पड़ेगा, और वो डिफेक्टिव प्रोडक्ट वापस आएगा, मेरी डिफेक्टिव प्रोडक्ट की इन्वेंटरी बढ़ेगी, मेरे को दोबारा एक अच्छा वाला प्रोडक्ट उसको दोबारा ठीक करना पड़ेगा, फिर उसे सी ऑल दिस विल कॉस्ट. This will reduce my profitability. So services are important to my productivity gains, cost savings. So it also helps in much more efficiency and productivity of the employees, as new technology can also bring new benefits. Technology today is saving cost. How? Instead of an employee answering somebody, they say, okay, you go to this particular option and now go for solution and you get your account balance. अब बैंक में अगर आपको अकाउंट बैलेंस चाहिए, तो किसी टेलर के पास या किसी एम्प्लॉय के पास जाने की, जो आप एसएमएस भेजिए, आपके पास अकाउंट बैलेंस आ जाता है. You go to internet and then do it. So automations saves your time. Today you go to bank, you want to withdraw cash, you don't have to go to cashier, you withdraw from ATM machines and then you deposit cash also. So these are the part of my automations which is leading to my cost savings. So department managers were earlier receiving the weekly and monthly report to help them take critical decisions. All this information shall be available real time now to produce them, to track things which were important to them. पहले क्या होता था, उनको रिपोर्टें लेनी पड़ती थी, मैनुअल रिपोर्टें बनती थी. नाउ ईआरपी सिस्टम है, वहां पे देख के पता चला, ओके कल कितना प्रोडक्शन हुआ था. नोबडी नीड्स टू नो. रिपोर्ट होती है, हर कोई अपना प्रोडक्टिविटी डालता है एंड इट कम्स आउट एज ए डैशबोर्ड. अब corporate service audit कहाँ पे हो सकता है? Where all we can perform the corporate service audit will cover which all areas? Consumers. For what? Quality goods in right quantity at right prices, place and time. So as an auditor, when I'm auditing the services of a company, and I want to audit, it is related to a customer. What I need to see, are they delivering a quality product to the customer? How many complaints are there? And then customer is sitting in, Delhi, in East Delhi, and my products are available in West Delhi. What time he wants that product and what time the product is made available is, provided to him. भाई वो कस्टमर कहता है मुझे सुबह प्रोडक्ट जो है सुबह मेरे घर में रात को मेरे को 8 बजे चाहिए, कहता नहीं सर सुबह 8 बजे मिलेगा आपको. सो दिस इज ऑल इज अ पार्ट ऑफ माई सर्विसेज टू कस्टमर. और सर्विसेज किस में है? क्वालिटी ऑफ गुड्स में है. सर्विसेज है जो कि मेरी ठीक जगह और टाइम पे होनी चाहिए और प्राइसेस भी ठीक होनी चाहिए. इट शुड नॉट हैपन दैट फॉर माई प्रोडक्ट आई एम चार्जिंग exorbitant to my customers. Employees. Now what is related to employees in terms of my services, corporate service? Are they getting paid on time? Do they have safe environment where they work? Do they get adequate training for their work? Is company maintaining proper welfare funds, जैसे उनका ESI जमा कराना, EF जमा कराना है, या जो भी उनके वेलफेयर के लिए कोई भी बोनस है वो सब कंपनी मेंटेन करती है. एंड हाउ द कंपनी इज मेंटेनिंग इंडस्ट्रियल रिलेशंस. इट मींस अगर कोई कन्फ्लिक्शन होता है एम्प्लॉइज के साथ कैसे रिजॉल्व होते हैं. डू दे हैव सम रिड्रेसल पॉलिसीज एंड अदर थिंग्स. सो दैट्स द पार्ट ऑफ माय सर्विसेज ऑडिट. तो कॉर्पोरेट सर्विसेज ऑडिट में मेरा क्या क्या कवर हो रहा है? कंज्यूमर, एम्प्लॉइज, शेयर होल्डर्स. Now what is related, what is important for my shareholders aspect for corporate services audit? Their investments has to be safe. Number one, investment safe होनी चाहिए, ये नहीं कि पैसा डूब रहा है उसका. Secondly, there has to be satisfactory returns. जितना वो एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं उतना उसको मिनिमम रिटर्न तो मिलना चाहिए और उसमें एप्रिसिएशन होनी चाहिए उसकी इन्वेस्टमेंट. तो 3 थिंग्स. पहले तो इन्वेस्टमेंट डूबनी नहीं चाहिए, दूसरा उसके ऊपर रिटर्न मिले, तीसरा एप्रिसिएशन होनी चाहिए शेयर होल्डर्स के उसमें. अगेन पार्ट ऑफ माय कॉर्पोरेट सर्विस. Community means a company cannot work itself. Why community is important? Because community से उसको resources मिल रही है भाई. It's an environment. Employees are coming from community. Human resources कहाँ से मिल रहे? Community से तो मिल रहे. So a social cost, social benefit and public relation. So what you do? You don't have to. You have to make good environment. Environment in the sense pollution मत करो. You have to maintain good industrial relations. You have to comply with the norms. Like a company which is manufacturing, let's say, I mean, so some companies are enough, producing, let's say, tobacco products. They may be in a consumption, they may be in a, production of the liquor or other kind of, products, toxic products. So what they do? They need to maintain the control over their products. उनके products के ऊपर कैसे control है उनका? So all that is basically so that it's not being misused. The product, अब आपको पता है एक दवाई है या और let's say if a product, let's say smoking के ऊपर लिखा होता, no, it should not be sold to somebody who's below the age of certain age. 15 साल 18 साल से छोटे बच्चे को लिकर और वो नहीं बेचेंगे. So it's basically it's your social obligation that you should print on your product and ensure it's not getting delivered. And then what you should do? You should pay back to the society. How? By creating. We'll talk about social corporate responsibilities, CSR क्या corporate social responsibility के बारे में in detail when we move forward. Now it's one consumer, employee, shareholder, common fellow businessman. It means we are talking about my competition, the people who are basically my suppliers, or they may be my competitors also, or they may be my buyers also. एक कंपनी अपने लिए नहीं करती है, दूसरी कंपनी उसका माल खरीद रही होगी, उसका सामान खरीद, तो व्हाट टू डू, दे नीड टू हैव बिजनेस एथिक्स एंड फेयर ट्रेड डीलिंग्स. So that is what needs to be seen. कि नहीं यार आज उसके ले लिया and then we are not making them payments on time, or my dealings with are not fair with them. I know they need money or they need my product and I'm charging them exorbitant for this. There has to be good ethical and fair practices that should be followed. State means government related. What are the services for that? Corporate service audit means compliance with applicable laws and regulations, like environment pollution control, like payment of taxes, fair trade practices. So these are all important. Means आप अपना TDS time से जमा कराएं, advanced taxes. You have to follow the fair trade practices. What are the fair trade practices? Like when we talk about, let's not do unnecessary hoardings. मार्केट में unnecessary shortage create नहीं करनी है, or buying excessive material or misuse of the materials. So trade practices means charging exorbitant prices to the consumers. Now there is a demand, making something which may cost you 10 rupees and then you are charging for that 100 bucks. उसका आप कितना परसेंट, 100% मार्जिन रख के करते हो. So these are not good trade practices. You should charge only a reasonable amount, not as per the need of the consumers. So this is all we talk about for the corporate services audit. You would not have heard, आपने इसके बारे में सुना नहीं होगा पहले, corporate services audit के बारे में. So now these are the new terms which are coming under management audit. Corporate development audit. Some more aspects. What is corporate development audit? Development includes what all? अब development के audit करते टाइम पे क्या होगा? Development means it talks about the capabilities of the organization. What all organization could achieve and what all it has achieved. So objective, study of the organization's capabilities, identifying strength and weaknesses. I told you क्या achieve कर सकते थे. Organization की strength क्या, moving forward the state of art performance. So corporate development audit gives a comprehensive picture of the state of the corporate development effectiveness and highlights the development needs. I mean, what we can say, okay, now these are the strength of the organization and what are the development needs. Now, can you suggest me एक organization की क्या strengths हो सकती हैं? What could be the strengths of an organization? Corporate governance is one. What else? Corporate governance is basically a compliance. अब जब हम कह रहे हैं कि organization की identifying the strength and weaknesses, what could be the strength of the organization? उसकी strength क्या हो सकती है एक organization की? Very good. Skilled employees. It's the strength of the organization. What else? अच्छी टीम, अच्छे एम्प्लॉइज होना उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की स्ट्रेंथ है. What else?
Good finance.
Very good. Financially very strong. अब वीकनेसेस में क्या आ सकता है? जो उसको वीकनेसेस से हम उसकी क्या कर रहे हैं, डेवलपमेंट नीड्स आइडेंटिफाई कर रहे हैं. Because every organization has some development needs also. Because no human being or no company is complete. Everybody has some development areas. होते हैं ना सबके improvement areas. एक कंपनी का क्या हो सकता है डेवलपमेंट नीड्स में? It could be it's a poor management. आई मीन उनका मैनेजमेंट इफेक्टिव नहीं है, इनइफेक्टिव मैनेजमेंट है, या फिर देयर लेस यूज ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी। आज टेक्नोलॉजी का है टाइम, द कंपनी इज नॉट यूजिंग टेक्नोलॉजी एडिक्वेटली। ये कंपनी की विजिबिलिटी नहीं है मार्केट में, कंपनी बहुत स्ट्रांग है, एम्प्लॉयज बहुत अच्छे हैं, लेकिन उसे जानते ही नहीं है। सो एडवर्टीजमेंट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। टेक्नोलॉजी हाउ, कि भाई कंपनी के प्रोडक्ट ऑनलाइन मिल रहे नहीं मिल रहे, पता चलता कंपनी तो बहुत बढ़िया है, लेकिन नोबडी कैन अप्रोच दिस कंपनी, क्योंकि कंपनी एक छोटे से स्टेट में काम करती है। हाउ टू अप्रोच दिस कंपनी, इस कंपनी की वेबसाइट नहीं है, टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं है, कंपनी को अचीव कैसे करे, किसी की कोई प्रॉब्लम है तो कॉल सेंटर नहीं है। सो दे नीड टू कम अप विद डिफरेंट वेज, कस्टमर सेंट्रिक नहीं है। सो कपल ऑफ थिंग्स कम्स एज ए वीकनेसेस. So when we talk about many organizations use corporate development audit to identify their strengths and their development needs, कि भाई उनके कहाँ पे improvement करने की जरूरत है, and this results feedback report highlighting key finding, specific recommendation for course of correction. See, we talked about a cost audit, now we are talking about management audit. और management audit में जो function audit के बाद में, ठीक है, corporate culture, where we discuss about services. See, corporate development audit, this is very important aspects, this is not being covered otherwise. So corporate development audit is a, what is this, it becomes a comprehensive task to assist corporate management in various aspects of development through the process of systematic review and evaluation of long term strategies of a company. अब कंपनी की वीकनेसेस कैसे देखोगे यार, ये 10 साल बाद वेयर दिस कंपनी कैन ग्रो. आज कंपनी बहुत अच्छा कर रही है, but can this company become a market leader if it continue to work like this? ऐसे काम करती रहेगी तो कहां पहुंचेगी? So corporate development audit assures क्या, various factors and forces constituting a corporate enterprise are the right kind and quality. कौन कौन सी चीजें जो उसे परफेक्ट बना रही है, एंड देन कम्युनिकेशन रिमेन्स द की टू द फंक्शनिंग ऑफ एन एंटरप्राइज. उन लोगों के बीच में क्या कम्युनिकेशन कैसा है, that may be my improvement area also. Pattern of the departmentalization in the enterprises, past or proposed for the future, means it's a multi-directional responsibility, fully responsive, it's a centralized or decentralized kind of environment. सेंट्रलाइज में क्या हो रहा है, सारे डिसीजन टॉप मैनेजमेंट ले रही है. डिसेंट्रलाइज में क्या हो गया, that they delegate the responsibility and authority to lower management also, divisional managers, they can take decisions. So what's the pattern over there of the style of management? Personal problems are handled appropriately, considering the overall objectives and development of the enterprise, responsibility of planning, coordination, motivation and control at functional management level are discharged in proper spirits. So a development audit is important for what? To meet all these objectives, because all these functions can work fine when we have right strengths with us and the weaknesses are being taken care of. जबकि हम weaknesses को अपनी identify करते हैं. Another one, personal development audit. Now what is personal development audit? Personal means, what are the personal? My employees. Why this is important? अभी हमने बात किया था that in corporate culture the employees matters a lot. एक कंपनी अपने आप में कुछ नहीं होती है. So what is important for them is about their employees. So see, a company is a name. कंपनी सिर्फ एक नाम है, ठीक है, and then who runs this company are the individuals, and what runs individuals is a culture. See, every human being is different. Why? Because of the culture that person has. What are basically the basic values of that human being that makes him different? God has given same, physical structure with, two eyes, 2 ears and everything. Every company has it. But the companies are different because of their culture. And culture applies to human beings. So personal development is vital aspect of corporate development. उसमें क्या देखेंगे? Trainings of manager and specialist. For what? For my present and future needs of company and for business operation. How this helps sales personal development with? It talks about the growth of employees. Now let's say somebody who joins an organization, he wants to see his growth. Yes or no? Everybody would like to see himself कि 5 साल बाद यार मैं, if I join somewhere as an executive, I should become what? Manager. 5 years down the line, they want to see the growth. बट वो सिर्फ एस्पिरेशंस नहीं होती ना, उसके लिए आपको अपने अंदर चेंजेस करने पड़ते हैं. फॉर दैट यू शुड बी, कहते हैं ना, deserve before you desire. So you should deserve that position. For that you need a development, and for that development comes with the help of trainings, and then proper coaching, motivation, all that helps. So what it aims at? Development of efficient, loyal and hard-working employees. So since all activities in organization are accomplished, जैसे मैंने बोला, by people with the people, an aspect of the personal management gains significance. So it is very, very extremely important for any organization to focus on their employees. So my personal development audit is about that. Okay, how much, how organization has conducted trainings, उनके ट्रेनिंग नीड्स कैसे आइडेंटिफाई कर रहे हैं, किस तरीके से उनको ट्रेन कर रहे हैं, how many trainings they have conducted, it's all about that. So when we talk about for the personal development, what all this will include, अब जब ऑडिट करेंगे तो उसमें क्या करें? प्री प्लानिंग एज एन एसेंशियल फीचर ऑफ ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट. So there has to be a pre-plan. It should not be a kind of जिसे कहते हैं ना, it should not be ad hoc exercise कि अभी प्रॉब्लम आई, अभी बैठ के डिस्कस करो. No. अगर if we want to see a growth for the human beings, there has to be a plan. It has to be a pre-planning that now every company has a plan that now next year if I want to hire my 5 managers, अगर मेरे यहाँ 5 मैनेजर हायर होने हैं तो 5 में से my at least 2 or 3 managers should be internally promoted. उनको अंदर से प्रमोशन मिलनी चाहिए. अगर उन लोगों की को प्रमोशन नहीं मिल रही है and then you are hiring managers from outside, इसका मतलब क्या है? कंपनी में पर्सनल डेवलपमेंट नहीं है. Somewhere company is lacking. और दे से नहीं सर मैंने इंटरव्यू लिया एंड आई एम लुकिंग एट हिम, ही इज नॉट रेडी फॉर दैट जॉब, ये मैनेजर नहीं बन सकता. अरे व्हाट वी हैव डन टू ट्रेन हिम? आई मीन यू हैव 10 रिसोर्सेस, ओके, 10 या 20 रिसोर्सेस हैं, 20 में से तुम्हें 2 लोग भी नहीं मिल रहे. हाउ डू वी फोकस ऑन दिस? सो इट्स अ प्री प्लानिंग एस्पेक्ट. It is given as a target. It is being evaluated. The management is evaluated on this. They focus on a personal development. इसलिए these days there is a lot of focus on human resource and its human resource development, जिसे HRD कहते हैं. That department is focus today. And where the companies जहाँ इसका HRD department effective होता है, वो company में basically that company has a very good corporate culture and that company has a very good reputation. Employee attrition rate is really low and the satisfaction level is good, and such a company has extremely good reputation in the market. If one of the good employer, if you want to talk about, then everybody wants to join Google. Google एक बहुत बढ़िया कंपनी है ज्वाइन करने के लिए. It's being called very good employee friendly. They take care of the employees. There's such a nice policies. लेकिन वहाँ पे hiring, is process is extremely difficult. Everybody can't join that. So successful organizations, in a part of the management audit, they focus on the personal development audit, and where the pre-planning, ascertaining manpower needs for appropriate education, training, and development. So what they need to do? They need to do the manpower needs, analysis, training need analysis. So what they need to do? What type of education, training, and development is required? So somebody wants to do this. So now this person needs to be educated on writing emails, how to make the communication, how to do presentation. This person needs to know about the style of management, how to take decisions. All that is the part of needs analysis. Now, ascertaining difference between future needs and existing talent. Now, I have resource today who is a good assistant manager, and tomorrow I need a departmental head. So now to make this person grow AM to a department head, what I need to do? What all is required? उसको budgetary आना चाहिए, उसको finance आना चाहिए, उसको laws के बारे में पता होना चाहिए. The many more things comes, and then they train their resources on this. What? Adopting a suitable program of recruitment, selection, training and development. In an organization, जब वो hiring होती है ना, कहते हैं why they ask for a minimum, qualification criteria? Because if the resources that we hire for the organization, they do not have desired, that skill set level, they cannot be trained. They are not trainable resources. इसलिए उनका suitable program, they need to identify what type of skills we need for the organization, the training, development, and close that imbalance for my existing requirement and also to meet my requirement of future development. Educate manpower planning with appropriate blending of manpower management policies and manpower management programs. So it means what? Manpower planning. Why this is important? If an organization has one of the, let's see, if I talk about my finance team or for my human resource department, अब वहाँ पे hiring करनी है. Now hiring has to be done for 50 resources. Now there is only one person who's there who has this responsibility to hire 50 resources. How many months it will take him? So there has to be a proper manpower planning. Is that one person can do that job? So it talks about the manpower planning. Or manpower planning, like somebody says, okay, now I need to, set up a new business unit. For that business unit, how much manpower I will require? क्या मेरा production target क्या है? Now to meet that production target, how much manpower I need at my production department, how much at the inspection level, how many supervisors will be needed, what will be the responsibility of my department manager. So likewise, hierarchy, her hierarchy में क्या क्या होगी? This is all the part of my manpower. So personal development will cover all these areas. Why this was important? We discussed that. Now functional areas along with the scope of human resource management and development indicated below may be identified as the component of the personal function. अब क्या क्या include करेंगे personal development में? Like my organization review and analysis. अभी हमने analysis की बात की to identify what type of requirement the organization has. उसकी roles and responsibilities क्या? हर किसी job के लिए एक ना job description बनता है. What that job description? It describes what type of job is this? ये किस तरीके का काम करना है? So continuous review and analysis of the organization's operations. तो जब तुम operations को समझोगे कि भैया ये finance operation है, now this is a production. A production में it's a welding job, it's a finishing job, it's a basically or you're working in an oil refinery, and then I need, or it's a kind of the software company where software need to be developed. So what type of skills are required? So proper work structure means hierarchy that we talk about, roles and responsibility क्या होंगी, inter departmental relationships, and levels of the authority. So it talks about the organization review. अभी organization का क्या structure क्या है, understanding that. Manpower planning, recruitment and selection. Once we understand the structure, what we have to do? Manpower planning, recruitment and selection. Planning you, what is the hierarchy level? How many resources will be needed? Training and development. Why training and development is required? जब हमने बंदे बाहर से skilled ले लिए तो why employees need to be trained? Let's say if I hired a good experienced resource, क्या मेरे को उसको ट्रेनिंग देने की जरूरत है? कंपनी में 5 साल के एक्सपीरियंस के साथ आ रहे हैं. Let's say if you go and join a new organization, do you need training? As a new resource?
Yes.
Why?
सर हर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का तरीका अलग होता है ना मैन्युफैक्चर करने के लिए.
Good. Because every organization, let's say even if you are a finance or costing executive, आपको सब कुछ पता है कैसे बनाते हैं. हर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में क्या होता है, उनके सॉफ्टवेयर अलग होते हैं, उनका इंफॉर्मेशन कलेक्ट करने के फॉर्मेट्स अलग होते हैं. द प्रोसेस ऑफ मेकिंग रिपोर्ट्स आर डिफरेंट. Or let's say somebody who is basically a chemical engineer, he joins a different another company. ये दूसरी कंपनी है जहाँ पे प्रिंटिंग होती है, लेकिन वहाँ केमिकल कॉम्पोजिशंस अलग है. Now my production process may be different. I worked as a production manager with X company. Now I join Y company. Will I have the same production process? Will I have the same machines? No, it will be different. So you need to understand and learn the processes of the organization. जिसके लिए आपको ट्रेनिंग की जरूरत पड़ती है. And for growth and development, you need more training. It talks about that personal audit. So performance appraisal, it's being the part. What is the performance appraisal? We all know. It's basically the assessment of performance at the end of the year or maybe at the half yearly basis. So हर किसी इंसान के KRA बनाते हैं. Now you are supposed to make 10 reports. You need to submit these 10 reports at the end of the quarter. ये आपको returns file करनी है, आपने करी या नहीं करी, या उसमें कितनी गलतियां हुई. So the person is being rated on his a delivery, quality of delivery, the initiatives that he has taken, उसने कितने initiatives लिए हैं, or extra work that he has done, or is he trainable resources, what type of communication he has, how nicely he worked with his peers, different aspects. So that's the part of the performance appraisal. And then performance appraisal is not only to identify the weaknesses, but it is also for the development. Development like a person may be getting a promotion or not a promotion, या उसे demotion मिलेगा, ये performance appraisal से ही तो assess होगा. Now, a person who's working as an assistant manager, he needs to be promoted as a manager. That's a post appraisal. उसकी rating क्या आती है? Oh, very good. He has met all targets. So I recommend him for this. That's a part of my performance appraisal. Employee remuneration, again, that's a part of my personal function to decide, including what all cost has to be there, wages structure, incentive payments कैसे होंगी, what all benefits will be included with this, what will be the financial or non-financial rewards. Non-financial rewards in a form of my, like say free car, free housing facility, it may be free travel, or employee services like free treatment, free accommodation, I mean free club kind of services, it included in this, administration and records, industrial relations, again a part of my this. So when we go and audit a personnel as a function, so it will include all these things, my industrial relation, administrating, research in manpower management. Research is again a part of this. Okay. We discussed about, personal development audit. What is for the employees development? Now we'll talk about customer service audit. what all is included in customer service audit and why customer service audit is important. As we told, as we discussed, that employees are important for the organization, but the future of an organization is in the hand of their customers. And if my customer service is not good, then how good my product is, it will not work. The सक्सेस किसी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की उसके कस्टमर सर्विस के ऊपर बेस्ड होती है. मैंने बहुत बढ़िया गाड़ी बना दी, ठीक है, बट दैट प्रोडक्ट फेल्स इन अ मार्केट इफ इट इज नॉट सपोर्टेड विद गुड कस्टमर सर्विस. अब गाड़ी तो बहुत बढ़िया है, ठीक है, बट उसके सर्विस सेंटर्स नहीं है, बिकॉज एवरीथिंग रिक्वायर्स अ सर्विस. एंड इट हैपेंड, आई कैन गिव यू 10 एग्जांपल्स जो कंपनियों के प्रोडक्ट्स तो बहुत बढ़िया थे, बट दे कुडंट सर्वाइव इन अ मार्केट बिकॉज ऑफ देयर पुअर कस्टमर सर्विस. या तो उनका सर्विस नेटवर्क नहीं था, या उनका सर्विस नेटवर्क अच्छा नहीं था. So let's say if you go in a market and see, is there any individual who can function without any mistakes, or any company who can function without any problems or defects in its products? So what is the way to deal with that? उसको हैंडल करने का तरीका क्या है? We go and correct the things, right? So how that happens? It happens through my services. Customer services are very important. So if I make my car and tomorrow if I need service of that car, how that will happen? मेरा एक service network बहुत अच्छा होना चाहिए. These days you will see on a TV there is a lot of ad by one automobile company that you focus on your individual relation. You send your car to us, we'll do the service for that. You don't have to do. Our guy will come and pick up the car from your home, do the services and send it back to you. आपको आने की जरूरत नहीं, हम खुद ही सर्विस करके भेज देंगे. Now this is being done by all the automobile company, but that company is emphasizing a lot on this service. So it's a focus of the customer service. So how good my product is? अब my product, अगर मेरे प्रोडक्ट में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, अगर मेरे को पीछे से कस्टमर सर्विस अच्छी मिल जाती है, because then I feel okay यार, गलत कुछ हो गया ना, it's not a problem so long as I'm getting a service. So audit of public responsibility of the business enterprise in relation to its customer is of the social audit. It's a part of my social audit. So audit is based on a philosophy. The role of the business should be conducive to raise the quality of the life through the contribution in terms of the better product quality and services. I mean, my product quality should be good. Secondly, my services has to be good, and it is also part of my social responsibility also. Yeah, यहाँ पे you are dealing with society, you are giving them your products, then you should give them good product. That's your first responsibility, and then give them good service. सर्विस सिर्फ इसलिए नहीं होती कि प्रोडक्ट में प्रॉब्लम है, बिकॉज दैट प्रोडक्ट नीड सर्विस. मशीन को सर्विस चाहिए यार, ह्यूमन बीइंग को सर्विस चाहिए, उसको भी कुछ दिन का रेस्ट चाहिए, हॉस्पिटल चाहिए. Likewise, service center, complaint handling, call center, these all are important. So service is very important. Service audit. So management auditor, while examining customer services in organization, क्या करेगा वो, क्या, what all questions could be there? Product related and policy related. Like if I want to audit, what I will do, ask about the product and policies. Do the product meet the product manufacturer meet the need of the customer of the different classes and taste? Or you made this product for one particular class of the product. Let's say if I talk about a company like Maruti, it makes car for all class of the customers. एक middle class, higher class, हर class के लोगों के लिए एक कार बनती है. But if I talk about what the companies like Mercedes, BMW, they deal with only a particular class of the product. So which type of class they are meeting, and is that meeting their requirement? अब लोअर क्लास के लिए बनाते तो, लेकिन वो उनकी नीड मीट नहीं करता है. Like that product is costlier for them, they can't afford that product, or it doesn't have the required features. Prices are reasonable, as I told you, and consistent with the quality variation and efficiency variations. It is all my product related, which becomes as a part of my service audit. As I discussed, अभी हम थोड़ी देर पहले बात किया था, profit associated in the prices has to be reasonable. Exorbitant profit नहीं charge करने चाहिए. See, these days आज की डेट में ना हमें बहुत सारे सेल्स देखने को मिलते हैं मार्केट में, that 70% सेल, 90% सेल, या 90% सेल, 70 या 80% सेल के बाद में प्रोडक्ट में क्या बचेगा? It means see the profit margin that product had. You go to any big brand, they at least run a sale for 40 to 50%. See the profit margin that is there. So the profit margin has to be reasonable. The prices has been fixed under the competitive market or monopolistic condition or government restriction. How the pricing is being decided. It's all a product related my audits. So these are the different type of questions that will prompt you to conduct as a management auditor the audit of my product. Detailed examination like product, services, company profile are adequate, disseminated in order to ensure the communication made to the customer. कि उनको पता है कि प्रोडक्ट की प्रोफाइल पॉलिसीज क्या है, क्या प्राइस है, क्वालिटी सर्विसेज, क्या ये ठीक भी है या सिर्फ पैम्पलेट में छाप के दे दिया है. Now after sale service, spares facility. Now this is one of the very important points. As we discuss about the service audit, भाई प्रोडक्ट बना के आ तो गया, अब उसके आफ्टर उसके प्रोडक्ट स्पेयर्स अवेलेबल नहीं है. Like I'll share one of my personal experience with you. मैं एक it's a very big multinational company. मैंने उसका ये प्रोडक्ट खरीदा. Now I had this washing machine. Now what happened? They told me, जब मैंने उसके सर्विस सेंटर फोन किया, उन्होंने कहा सर ये देखना पड़ेगा प्रोडक्ट अभी हमारे पास है या नहीं है, इसका स्पेयर ये मुंबई से आता है, आजकल कोरोना काल चल रहा है तो पता नहीं आपको कितने दिन में मिलेगा. Then I was shouting in them. I said that it's your product. आपको पता है ये प्रोडक्ट है और ये खराब भी हो सकता है, तो आपके पास ये तो अवेलेबल होना चाहिए, आपके पास एडिक्वेट स्टॉक्स होने चाहिए. It means you people are not maintaining adequate stocks. And then he said that आप 2 मिनट रुकिए सर, मैं अपने मेन डिपो में फोन करता हूँ. मैंने why the hell you spoke to me without talking to your main depot? So after sale service spares availability, अब तुम्हारा प्रोडक्ट तो बहुत बढ़िया, लेकिन उसके स्पेयर्स जो है इजीली अवेलेबल नहीं होते. सर ये पीछे से ही नहीं आ रहा है, तो व्हाट द हेल यार, वो खराब मशीन लेके बैठा रहेगा क्या आपके प्रोडक्ट को? So this is not acceptable as a customer service. So this is the question, means does the company is maintaining all products and do they have their adequate level? और adequate levels किससे decide होते हैं? ये कंपनी में इस प्रोडक्ट में पिछले बारी कितने प्रॉब्लम्स आए हैं? I'll share one, लास्ट टाइम मेरे को एक याद आता है, एक ऑटोमोबाइल कंपनी थी, ठीक है, आई विल नॉट नेम दैट कंपनी. उस कंपनी के ना इंजन में दिक्कत आई, एंड इट हैड दैट कंपनी वाज अ मल्टीनेशनल कंपनी, और उसके प्रॉब्लम्स इंडिया में नहीं ग्लोबली आई थी. और उन लोगों ने जितने भी यूरोप और यूएस में जितने, उन सबके इंजन चेंज करके दिए थे उनको वो पार्ट के. एंड सेम ड्राइव दे स्टार्टेड हियर इन इंडिया आल्सो. They asked all their customers to bring their car to the to the workshops, and they change this free of cost. So it's all about maintaining your service levels, handling problems related to your product, and meeting the satisfaction level of your customers, which is very important. आप कस्टमर को किस तरीके से आपके प्रॉब्लम्स को हैंडल कर रहे हो. Constant efforts are made for the improvement of product. It means here you see a lot of time of what are the examples of the constant improvement in the product. आप बताइए आपने पिछली बारी what type of improvement you see in a product? Can you share some experience with me? Some product that you would have seen. See, you see every day there is a new model being launched of the car. कार का ही नया मॉडल लॉन्च हो जाता है हर साल या दूसरे साल में चेंज हो जाता है and then they change something in this कोई नया फीचर ऐड कर देते हैं all. So what is that? It's basically an improvement in the product. So you will see कि कोई भी गाड़ी का एक मॉडल ले लो डिजायर ले लोगे ठीक है और यू टॉक अबाउट एनी बाइक सो एनीथिंग कम्स विद अ न्यू मॉडल यार अभी ये पुराना था मोबाइल का नया मॉडल आ गया नई फीचर्स ऐड हो गए इट्स व्हाट इट्स एन इंप्रूवमेंट इन प्रोडक्ट management assumes responsibility of product development. Do they do this? I mean, these are all the questions related to my product. Product development program is undertaking to meet these things. Custom company policies कैसी हैं related to distribution of the product and charging customer, fair pricing. Now, this is all related to product. Now, in terms of relationships में क्या-क्या है? Check कर रहे हूँ. What could be this? Handling the customer complaints are promptly and efficiently. As I told you, I called up there and then they put me on hold for 15 minutes. 15 मिनट तक होल्ड में डाल दिया और उसके बाद बोला अब आपको जो है 4 दिन बाद में बताएंगे. I mean, how you are handling your customer, how prompt you are, how efficient you are. Are you responding back to your customer? So, पता है आपको कंपनीज में when they perform the audit and the service level, अब इंटरनेशनल स्टैंडर्ड्स है इवन ऑन कॉल सेंटर और वहां पे किस लेवल की डेप्थ लेवल एनालिसिस होती है कि कितनी देर आपने कस्टमर को होल्ड में डाला है दे डू द एनालिसिस ऑफ दैट कितने कॉल्स आपके ड्रॉप हो रहे हैं वो उस लेवल पे एनालिसिस होते हैं कॉल सेंटर के अब वो इससे ट्रैक भी करते हैं कस्टमर की आईडी से या जो आपका कस्टमर रिलेशनशिप नंबर है दे चेक इवन विद दैट यू नो हाउ मेनी टाइम्स दिस कस्टमर हैज कॉल्ड अप फॉर द सेम प्रॉब्लम and they are being rated on that. So all related to my customer relationships. Company cooperates with the groups and associations representing customers. जब जो उनके customer के अपने association groups हैं, उनके साथ में the company has to cooperate because the customers की भी अपनी associations बनी हुई है. Customer provides useful suggestion and render necessary assistance to consumers cooperatives for the distribution of quality product at reasonable prices. बहुत सारी कंपनीज गिव्स यू डिलाइटर अब मैं अपने साथ में थोड़ा सा एक फूड वाली कंपनी का रेस्टोरेंट था उसने बहुत अच्छे प्रोडक्ट्स अपने दिए थे आई मीन दे लॉन्च देयर सम ऑफ यू नो न्यू डिशेस एंड एवरीथिंग दे इनवाइटेड अस एट फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट कि आप इसे ट्राई कीजिए एंड यू नो जस्ट ट्राई यू नो समथिंग फ्री मैंने 4 डिशेस ऑर्डर किए उन्होंने अपनी 2 फ्री में दी सो इट मीन्स द सम ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस they focus on their customer and they make them delight with these things or they offer you free you know one of the dessert what could be the other things like safety norms related to product are being maintained and accepted safety is very very important mobile में भी कहते हैं उसका जो एक radiation level होता है it has to be under control it should not heat up performance guarantees are explicitly stated means the product has to be meeting the desired that performance level for that performance guarantees are there अगर आपका 1 साल के अंदर if your product is not working fine it will be freely replaced how do the merits of a company own product match with the advantages of the customer that's another criteria that they look at whether technical data given in a sales promotion media is specific or ambiguous it's again very important aspect that what type of technical data is being shared and because this impacts my sales उसके ऊपर उसका focus होता है and the customers are basically influenced with that data how company ensure proper remedy against the customer complaints how you are handling what type of remedies you are giving क्या उन्हें solutions दे रहे हो आप Now, let's say a company is providing their products in a market and they get to know यार उनके product market में customer को मिल नहीं रहे हैं because the dealers बीच में वो product को गायब कर देते हैं they do the hoarding of that to create artificial demand क्योंकि pricing तो वो demand and supply से ही driven है now how to handle that so what the companies does they make the proper practices that how to meet with this. So अभी आपने देखा होगा काफी जगह you see there are the pricing of the certain product, like even with the onion these days you see some food items. What the government does, they use the government outlets to deliver those products at a reasonable prices, so that is these artificial scarcities are being handled. The companies के कुछ एक प्रोडक्ट, ये एप्पल का ये मॉडल ही नहीं आ रहा सर, ये तो इतना एक ही पड़ा है, इतने पैसे में मिलेगा. So they charge exorbitant to the customer. So company should have good policies to handle that. Warranties has to be good and explicitly stated. Clear होनी चाहिए वो policy. Fundamental service responsibilities आपकी क्या है, or the other aspects. Now, social responsibility audit, we discussed about that. Is there any question on this? I believe these are the new aspects that we are talking about. But if you want me to explain some point, तो अभी आप मेरे से कोई question कर सकते हो. I mean, we can discuss that. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, social responsibility audit. So it's something we hear a lot about, corporate social responsibility. So what do we mean by that? It's a man-made pollutant that greatly influence the quality of the environment. So अभी क्या है, solid gas अलग-अलग form में अभी हम लोग जो है basically the companies which are making, they're creating a polluting environment. So they have responsibility to keep this under control. So that is there. This is not corporate. This is social responsibility of the company, not to pollute environment, to give safe environment to community. The level of pollution varies with density of the population. भाई किसी जगह dense होगी तो वहाँ ज्यादा होगा. And it affects their recycling, technology, waste management. सब कुछ उससे impact होता है. So environment pollution covers what type of things? आपके air pollution है, water है, noise pollution. Yes, you would have seen noise pollution also. कहीं आपने देखा noise pollution का one example? Can you share with me?
ट्रैफिक ऑन रहते हैं.
Yes. और वो जनरली कहाँ पे होता है?
इंडिया में बहुत.
हाँ
इंडिया में बहुत होता है.
हाँ हाँ, बट सी ये इंडिया में भी है, अब्रॉड में तो इससे भी ज्यादा है. वहां तो आप ज्यादा हॉर्न करोगे, पीछे वाला आपके ऊपर कोर्ट केस कर देगा. It's being considered as offense. किसी के ऊपर चिल्लाने जैसा है, जोर से हॉर्न बजाना.
गाली करना जैसा है.
नो, मार्केट प्लेसेस में आप बजा रहे हो हॉर्न, वो तो इतना ज्यादा नहीं हो, बट समथिंग लाइक नॉइज पोल्यूशन यू विल सी जनरली where somebody is sick, like close to hospitals. You cannot blow horn fast. Or where some sick, or means there are some let's say there are some hotels, या कहीं पे अगर आपका basically where there is a some residential accommodation, जहाँ पे basically some sick people are there, some hostel or these kind of तो वहाँ पे कहते हैं यहाँ पे high volume पे बजाना मना है. And even these days you will see the government has given some recommendations like after 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, you cannot do the parties. You cannot play the loud music. That's a kind of the noise pollution we talk about. Smell pollution. Oh, generally, वो आपके sewers and all these things, it causes that there has to be control. Thermal pollution, again, it's a radiations. Visual, it happens when the foggy things are there. Climate pollution, we talk about, the rainy and other things, the poor water drainage, it all happens during radiations. We talk about radiations. कहाँ पे ज्यादा आपने देखा है? Can you give me one classic example of radiation? Sorry, दोबारा बोलिए.
टेलीफोन टावर.
Yes, very good.
मोबाइल.
Yes. So telephone tower, these mobile towers are really, these days causing big problems. So आज की डेट में, government is not even giving permission. So government is, not giving permissions, and especially this 5G has launched. So it's being believed that 5G is more harmful for human beings. So 5G के टावर्स लगाने के लिए परमिशन दी नहीं है गवर्नमेंट ने, and it's been causing a lot of problems. So radiations is something mainly related to these days. We see, generally radiations तो आपके हॉस्पिटल्स में भी जो उनके वेस्ट वगैरह निकलते हैं, या हमारे मोबाइल फोन में भी रेडिएशंस है, इवन लैपटॉप्स में भी रेडिएशंस है. फॉर दैट इवन देयर इज अ कंट्रोल. बट रेडिएशन मेनली जैसे जो आजकल हमारे ये जो मोबाइल के टावर्स वगैरह है, इससे बहुत ज्यादा है. Soil and land pollution, that's due to the pollutants being emitted. So it's basically kind of the, we talk about for the social responsibility to keep all these things under in control. Corporate department audits, it's covering various functions like purchase management, personnel, production. We discussed that last time also. आपकी research and development activities, management audits of the your sales and marketing, distribution management company का कैसा है, it covers the functional areas of the company. Energy audit, if a company is using let's say the kind of the product like steam, electricity, or any type of energy, it's basically an audit of that also. And what all it covers, analysis of the energy flow in the building systems. अब उसको audit में क्या check करेंगे? What could be? It consists of the activity that seek and identify conservation opportunities preliminary for the development of energy saving programs. It covers that. So, क्या हो सकते हैं sources of conversion of energy like steam generation, steam distribution, steam utilization, electrical energy utilization, total energy management, diesel exhaust energy. So these are the different areas where my conservation of energy may take place. So during energy, what we check, what we look at here, what type of let's say if it's basically a steam generation plant, if I've set up, what type of boiler plants or what type of machines we are using, what is their capability, are they working at its full capacity level, are the human beings being trained, are we using correct technology, तभी तो उससे steam generation या मेरा जो energy generation है, even that will be effective. So how are we choosing the right type of equipments for the generation? Do we have the skilled manpower? And then do we have the right technology to handle everything? How distribution takes place? Distribution means whatever I have manufactured, how do I share it among my plants? Or there is some excess utilization? जिसको जितनी जरूरत है उससे ज्यादा डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन नहीं करना है, because what happens, it goes as a waste. How energy is being utilized in those centers, उनका प्रोडक्शन लेवल पे क्या है, कैसे कंट्रोल कर रहे हैं वो एनर्जी को, कैसे यूटिलाइजेशन है. टोटल एनर्जी सिस्टम मैनेजमेंट मींस इट स्टार्ट्स विद द जनरेशन टिल यूटिलाइजेशन. Diesel exhaust energy means how do you go and control that diesel consumption, how what type of equipments we are using for control. So it's all related to my energy consumption, generation, consumption, utilization, distribution. Again, a part of my these things. When we talk about for the productivity and efficiency audit, अभी हमने पहले discuss भी किया हुआ है productivity and efficiency audit in one of the my cost accounting standards. So why productivity audit is to achieve optimum results and then to improve on benchmarks. That's very important. And then productivity audit में क्या क्या include करेंगे हम लोग? It will include comparison of expected results which is my actual to find out my variations. See, I'm going a little fast today because it's a lengthy topic and we are not left with many classes. तो अभी हमें थोड़ा सा इसको gear up करना पड़ेगा. So comparison of optimum results on utilization. So these are the fairly new concepts. So I'm talking about that. So these are not very difficult to understand, but yes, you should be knowing about it since these are the new topics coming up. Comparison of optimal results on utilization vis-a-vis the actual results. ऑप्टिमम रिजल्ट्स को हम एक्चुअल रिजल्ट्स के साथ कंपेयर कर रहे हैं कि उसमें कुछ और इंप्रूवमेंट की जरूरत है या हो सकती है. what type of improvement of the benchmark of the returns and utilization. See, it's talking about raising bar. अभी मैंने पिछली बारी इतना बेंचमार्क था, see, somebody said that I can produce the 5 units in an hour. Can we make it to 6 units in an hour? Once we have achieved that benchmark of 6 units, can we achieve the 7 units? And while achieving 7 units, are we compromising with the quality? So it's about the improving the benchmark, about the quality, about the productivity, about the efficiency of the product. तो मेरे क्या क्या, how do we do this? अगर मैं रिसोर्स डिप्लॉयमेंट के लिए चेक कर रहा हूँ तो उसके लिए क्या है, व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट रेशियोज वी कैन यूज, टूल्स क्या हैं, जैसे मेरे कैपिटल एम्प्लॉयड पर कैपिटा और कैपिटल डिप्लॉयड पर यूनिट ऑफ अ प्रोडक्ट, इट इंडिकेट, ये रेशियो से क्या पता चल रहा है मेरा, इट टॉक्स अबाउट माय रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट, एफिशिएंसी, प्रोडक्टिविटी, ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट टू कैपिटल एम्प्लॉयड, कितना रिटर्न आ रहा है कैपिटल एम्प्लॉयड के ऊपर में, ये नेट प्रॉफिट कितना है कैपिटल एम्प्लॉयड में, इट गिव्स मी व्हाट, इट गिव्स मी द प्रोडक्टिविटी ऑफ माय, कौन किस चीज की प्रोडक्टिविटी पता चल रही है इससे मेरे को, कैपिटल. If I've invested some amount, this amount is giving me how much return. It's about my resource productivity. Debts to fixed loan, debts to floating loan. These are the different type of ratios that we use about the resource deployment. Resource utilization कैसे? Capacity utilization, installed capacity, utilized capacity of the machine by units. Installed versus utilized. Installed capacity, utilized capacity of the machines, machine times available. मीन्स मशीन का टाइम जो अवेलेबल था और मशीन टाइम यूटिलाइज्ड, कितना अवेलेबल और कितना मैंने यूटिलाइज किया. सो दिस रेशियो विल इंडिकेट दैट पर्टिकुलर यूटिलाइजेशन लेवल. 10 घंटे अवेलेबल था और यूटिलाइज किया मैंने 9 घंटे. इट टॉक्स अबाउट माय यूटिलाइजेशन लेवल व्हिच कम्स टू 90%. ग्रॉस फिक्स्ड एसेट्स एंड टर्नओवर, अगेन इट्स ratios between my sales and assets. Utilization of my assets to generate my sales and next assets to turnover. I mean different type of ratios that we talk about for the resource utilization. A new term, proprietary audit. What is proprietary audit? Stands for verification of transactions. I mean it's a proprietary means it has to be correct, it has to be genuine. So how do we do this? कैसे पता चलता कोई ट्रांजेक्शन जेन्युइन है या नहीं है? It has to be in the best interest of public, commonly accepted customs and standards of conduct. कोई भी काम ठीक होना चाहिए. Proprietary audit talks about the verification of a transaction. पब्लिक के लिए ठीक होना चाहिए. It should be commonly accepted. It should not happen that a particular thing works for some particular class of people. कुछ लोगों को खुश करने के लिए, कुछ लोग कुछ for some handful of people for their benefit. It should be for publicly best interest of the public. कोई दवाई बन रही है ये वो सब लोगों के बेनिफिट के लिए होना चाहिए. It should not help handful of people जो उसको सिर्फ अफोर्ड कर सकते हैं. So it talks about the standards of conduct. How do we check कि ये ठीक है या नहीं है? So these are the three things. Does that meet the standards of the public, commonly accepted customs and standards of the conduct? किस तरीके से उसको हम यूज कर रहे हैं? Audit seeks to ensure what planned expenditure would yield the optimum results. इसमें हम क्या करें प्रॉपर उसमें about my resource utilization of my financial resources, planned expenditure versus my optimum returns मिल रही नहीं मिल रही उसमें. As we discuss, अभी हमने पीछे एक रेशियो देखा था, ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट ऑन कैपिटल एम्प्लॉयड. देयर इज नो अदर बेटर ऑल्टरनेटिव अवेलेबल. ये मेरा बेस्ट रिटर्न था. So proprietary audit talks about the optimum utilization of resources, getting the best return out of it. It seeks to ensure that expenditure is not only appropriate to the circumstances of each case, it also indeed achieve the objective of for which it has been incurred. तो खाली ये नहीं है कि जो मैंने जिस चीज के लिए खर्चा किया था वो हो गया, बट इट वॉज द बेस्ट वे टू डू दैट. इट मेट द ऑब्जेक्टिव. नाउ एक सबसे अच्छा एग्जाम्पल क्या है प्रोपराइटरी ऑडिट का? जैसे पब्लिक सेक्टर अंडरटेकिंग्स आर अंडरटेकन बाय कंट्रोलर एंड ऑडिटर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया. दे व्हाट डू दे चेक? पब्लिक सेक्टर अंडरटेकिंग्स क्या है? लाइक माय रेलवेज, my electricity board. So these units are doing what? They are serving for public. So what do? They say okay, these resources are basically reaching out to the common man or not. Electricity board ने हर किसी इंसान को, they are providing the products at a right price or not. So I mean these type of proprietary audits are being conducted. Cost audit report can be termed as proprietary audit. क्यों? इससे कैसे कह सकते हैं कि प्रोपराइटरी ऑडिट है? बिकॉज ड्यूरिंग दिस वी कंपेयर द एक्चुअल एक्सपेंडिचर. We are comparing the resource utilization. There has to be optimum utilization of resources, which is the focus of my cost audit. So that is why we say this as a proprietary audit. So optimum returns have been achieved. So what we see, okay, resources should not be wasted. You remember we discussed in the beginning about the objective of the cost audit. It's not audit checking compliance. It's about the utilization of resources. So we say the cost audit can be termed as proprietary audit. What it cost auditor kya karta hai? He always checks that actual expenditure should not be prima facie more than what is occasional demand. We always compare the actual with standard and find out the variations. So proprietary audit will focus on that. So auditor, while conducting the project, should in any case observation of following principles kya kya hai? Expenditure should not prima facie be more than the occasional demands. So what is being here? ये नहीं है कि for something the cost is 5,000 rupees, but we are ending up paying how much? 10,000 rupees or 7,000 rupees on this. तो यार जितना जरूरी है उससे ज्यादा खर्चा कर दिया. So it means buying expensive items or buying the items at extra cost. No authority should exercise its power sanctioning expenditure to pass an order which will be directed and indirective for his own advantage. It means it's something like अभी हमने बात किया ना public sector undertaking. So giving orders to those individuals who are your relatives or something where he gets some commission. So I mean these type of things which should not give him benefit on this. Like public money should not be utilized for the benefit of particular person or section of a community unless amount of involved is insignificant and the claim from the amount could be enforced in a court of law. तो कहते हैं कि किसी when you spend money it should be for the public. It should not help a particular community or a class of individual. Amount of allowance like traveling allowance granted to meet the expenditure should be regulated that these are not on the whole source of the profit to the recipient. मीन अगर ट्रेवलिंग अलाउंस मिला तो भैया ट्रेवल के लिए हो, ये नहीं है कि उससे बेसिकली ही इज मेकिंग हिज ओन प्रॉफिट्स or he's using this for some other purpose. So it's basically about the proprietary audit. Means utilization of the resource, the optimum utilization, then the purpose for which this money has been spent. ये जिस पर्पस के लिए वो उसका ऑब्जेक्टिव मीट होना चाहिए. अगर ट्रैवलिंग के लिए तो ट्रैवलिंग ही होनी चाहिए. इट शुड नॉट बी कि ट्रैवल का पैसा जो है आई एम स्पेंडिंग दिस फॉर बाइंग फूड or for my buying clothes. It should not be spent for some other purpose. And then it should be the optimum utilization. It should not happen that I'm paying 5,000 rupees for something and for that actually it cost 3,000 or 2,000 rupees. So that way it's proprietary audit is focused on this. One of the important and the last point on this is management audit, CSR audit, corporate social responsibility audit. What corporate social responsibility is? It's on the company is meeting its corporate social responsibility objectives, और वो कौन डिफाइन करता है? Corporate social responsibility committee of a company. So corporate social audit is an assessment of company's performance on corporate social responsibility objectives. So when this audit is being conducted, it is being done to check the objectives related to my CSR are met or not met. So it involves क्या करते हैं? Measurable goals intended. The goal should be measurable. Measurable means जिसको हम measure कर सकते हैं, evaluate कर सकते हैं. ये नहीं कि measurable goal means something like gross profit should be 10% of sales. This is measurable. या gross profit अच्छा होना चाहिए. Is this measurable? अच्छा gross profit. Is this a measurable?
No.
Gross profit should be 5% of sales. This is measurable, right? So it involves measurable goals intended to help the business meet the expectation of the stakeholders group, having social and economic responsibilities, environmental responsibility, balancing social responsibility with business performance is imperative in today's business arena. Means it is important for all companies to have their corporate social responsibilities being fulfilled. Now, where all this applies? कौन सी कंपनीज को अप्लाई करता है ये? क्या सब कंपनीज को करना है? Now, the concept of CSR किस किस को अप्लाई करता है? Rest on the ideology of giving and take. Means companies are taking resources in a form of कैसे कैसे ले रही है? सोसाइटी से रॉ मटेरियल के फॉर्म में, ह्यूमन रिसोर्स के फॉर्म में, और इन द फॉर्म ऑफ द नॉलेज फ्रॉम द सोसाइटी, इन द फॉर्म ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर, लिटरेचर. ये जो भी एक सिविलाइजेशन डेवलप हो रखा है, दिस इज ऑल कंपनीज यूटिलाइजिंग. एक सिस्टम बना हुआ है ना कॉर्पोरेट का, सोसाइटी का, कंपनीज आर यूजिंग. सो कंपनी हैज टू गिव दिस बैक. CSR एक्टिविटी से क्या होता है? कंपनी गिव्स बैक टू द सोसाइटी. Now what is being expected of this? Section 135 says what of Companies Act? It says every company having net worth of rupees 500 crores, जिसकी net worth कितनी है? 500 करोड़ है और more, या फिर turnover of 1000 crores or more, or a net profit of rupees 5 crore or more during any financial year. अगर उसका 5 करोड़ से ज्यादा का अगर नेट प्रॉफिट भी है, shall constitute a corporate social responsibility committee. Please note this. Of the board consisting of 3 or more director, जिसमें से एक इंडिपेंडेंट होगा. तो इसमें 3 कंडीशंस क्या क्या है? एक तो है 500 करोड़ और मोर का उसकी नेटवर्थ हो, या 1000 करोड़ का उसका टर्नओवर हो, और हैविंग अ नेट प्रॉफिट ऑफ 5 करोड़ या ज्यादा, तो उसको CSR कमेटी बनानी है. क्लियर हो गया किसको CSR कमेटी बनानी है? नाउ इट सेज व्हाट? द बोर्ड ऑफ एवरी कमेटी रेफर्ड इन सबसेक्शन में shall ensure that the company spends in each financial year. कंपनी हैज टू स्पेंड, कंपनी को खर्चा करना पड़ेगा. व्हाट? At least 2% of the average net profit of the company made during the 3 immediate preceding financial year in pursuance of its corporate social responsibility policy. जो उसने अपनी पॉलिसी बनाई है उसमें अपने एवरेज नेट प्रॉफिट जो पिछले 3 साल का है उसका कम से कम 2% खर्चा करना है. तो कॉर्पोरेट सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी क्या हो सकती है? वो बोलेंगे हम पार्क बनाएंगे, ठीक है, या हम हॉस्पिटल्स बनाएंगे, या हम हॉस्पिटल्स को डोनेट करेंगे, मशीन्स डोनेट करेंगे, या हम क्या करेंगे? विल कंडक्ट अ एजुकेशन प्रोग्राम. सो हैव यू कम अक्रॉस एनी कंपनी डूइंग ऑल दीज थिंग्स? अब आपने, I really don't know whether you heard of this, some CSR responses, some businessmen who have done these things.
Yes, sir.
Which company you have heard of this?
Company. Reliance.
So see, there are many companies जो मैंने अभी जो काफी ज्यादा देखा है. One businessman like Azim Premji, so he basically does this. So उनकी कंपनीज के बहुत नाम आते हैं. मतलब that company is known for it's meeting its CSR kind of meeting these kind of objectives. and they do this in a very in a very regular manner. So there are many companies who are doing this. So you read the newspaper journal, so you will see that as a CSR responsibility. Companies के काफी आपने देखे होंगे, जब आप ट्रेवल कर रहे होते हो तो आपने देखो वो प्लांटेशन किए हुए होते हैं और उसके बाहर एक लगा हुआ होता है, क्या कहते हैं, देयर इज वन केज, एक उसके बाहर एक वो उसका जाला सा बना हुआ होता है, उसके ऊपर लिखा हुआ था स्पॉन्सर्ड बाय दिस। या एक एक गार्डन बना हुआ, अगर कभी आप नोएडा दिल्ली से ट्रेवल कर रहे हो, उसका इट इज मेंटेन्ड बाय दिस कंपनी। इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ द CSR. Companies identify this as the part of their CSR response to develop those areas. You have seen, have you ever noticed? Yes, Tata is one which has done this. So it's basically a part of that, provided the company shall give to local areas where it operates for spending amount impact for the social. So how much it has to spend? At least 2%. अगर नहीं करती है कंपनी खर्चा, तो what it says, board shall in its report made under clause O0 subsection 3134 specify reasons for not spending the amount. You have to give reasons in their report कि उन्होंने खर्चा क्यों नहीं किया है. CSR ऑडिट में क्या रिस्क कवर कर रहे हैं? What the risk covered? Effectiveness operating framework of CSR implementation. When we perform this, it covers कि CSR ढंग से implement हो रहा है. And then implementation of specific large CSR project वो ढंग से implement हो रहे हैं. Adequacy of internal control review mechanism means they are spending money. Is there somebody who's checking this? कोई control है उसके ऊपर, review mechanism है. That's the purpose of my CSR audit. Reliability and measures of the performance. कैसे check कर रहे हैं कि जो पैसा 2% पैसा खर्चा हो रहा है, is this reaching and meeting that objective for which this money is being spent? उसको check करने के लिए मैनेजमेंट और रिस्क एसोसिएटेड एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर, रेगुलर कंप्लायंस वगैरह, उसको it has to be taken care of. So CSR audit will cover what all? Human rights, fundamental rights, my business behavior, relationship with my client, suppliers, and everything. Human resources like labor relations and everything. We discussed that. Corporate governance. It talks about my compliances, like my internal control, treatment of the shareholders. Corporate governance is basically my controls about my management of a company for to drive the operations, the management of the company. Environment, like we discussed that manufacturing, distribution of the product, in use, disposal, effect of the pollution, pollution control. It's all related to my environment. Community involvement, like impact on communities जो हम काम कर रहे हैं उसके ऊपर कैसा impact जा रहा है. तो CSR audit is going to focus and check on these things. What is the impact of that on my human rights, business behavior, human resources, corporate governance, environment, my community involvement, school, college, these hospitals, how this impacts on this. An auditor comments on this. So what we can do is, I think we can take one case study. Do you have some questions on this? Otherwise, what we'll do, we'll take one case study. So see, this is important for management audit, and we're discussing many aspects of this. So it's one of the good covers certain portion of your marks also. And for you, there are a couple of more things that we do around this. So I think we can, if you have some questions, otherwise we'll move to case study. Let's move on.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now go through this and then we'll start in just 1 minute. Just go through this problem. We have to compute the cost of the material. Have you read this?
Run, sir.
Hello.
हो गया सर, पढ़ लिया कुछ।
Yeah. So, okay. Now tell me what all we need to include. What is the cost of the material? We purchase material for $50,000. तो उसका कन्वर्जन रेट क्या होगा? हेलो. अभी हमने एक वो स्टैंडर्ड डिस्कस किया था ना, कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड. उसमें हमने इंपोर्टेड मटेरियल के ऊपर डिस्कस किया था. हमने डिस्कस अबाउट द इंपोर्टेड मटेरियल. उसमें बोला था कि व्हेन वी आर इंपोर्टिंग मटेरियल, हमको इंपोर्टेड मटेरियल यूज कर रहे हैं, तो उसमें हम कौन सा एक्सचेंज रेट लगाएंगे? आई गिव यू 3 डिफरेंट सिनेरियोस. आई रियली डोंट नो. हाँ.
On the date of
Yes. So what is the on the date of transaction? What is that rate?
54.6.
Very good. So we'll multiply 50,000 with 54.6, not 54.4. We'll not use forward contract. Okay. So please understand on the date of transaction. यानी date of transaction क्या हो गया? Date of import. तो date of import है मेरी 54.6. So we'll multiply 50,000 with 54.6. So that will be my material cost. So it comes out to my
27 lakh.
yes. Then what about import duties? 5,65,000. We will add this.
Add this.
Okay. And what about my freight? Inward 1,62,000.
Add.
Okay. Insurance paid for import by road 48,000.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Cash discount 33,000.
Ignore.
Yes, we'll ignore. So cash discount is not relevant here. So what's the cost of my material?
So 35 lakh 5,000.
Yes. Is this clear to everybody? So see, we are picking up these examples and problems I'm picking up from your case studies. So this is how it goes. अभी जो हमने कैलकुलेशन किया है मैं आपके साथ में शेयर भी कर दूंगा इसको, ठीक है? तो लेट्स डू वन थिंग, देखते हैं एक प्रॉब्लम और करते हैं, ठीक है? Just read this and then we'll start on this problem then. Okay. So what we need to calculate in this abnormal for exclusions from the product cost. तो अभी इसमें से हमें abnormal cost निकालनी है. Yes. Have you read this? Can we start?
Yes, sir.
चलो ठीक है. Now अब देखो इसमें क्या है, what we need to see is कि स्ट्राइक हुई थी कंपनी में, ठीक है? तो स्ट्राइक कब से? 13 सितंबर से लेके 16 नवंबर के बीच में. How many days were these? कितने दिन हो गए ये स्ट्राइक के? Can somebody tell me how many days are these?
34.
Huh? 13th September to 16th November.
65.
Yes, 65 days. ठीक है? So what we have, हमारे पास total cost कितनी है? We have expenses during the year as this: salary, wages, direct 450, 300, 180 variable है, depreciation. Total cost मेरी कितनी आ गई? चेतन 59 नहीं है, दिस इज 65. आप कैलकुलेशन समझे या नहीं समझे? ओके ग्रेट. तो जो चीज समझ में ना आए प्लीज फील फ्री टू आस्क अबाउट इट. हाँ तो ठीक है, मुझे बताओ टोटल कॉस्ट कितनी हो गई?
160 लाख.
कितना हो गया, सॉरी
1560 लाख।
1560 lakhs. ओके, नाउ ये मेरी टोटल कॉस्ट है. नाउ कैन वी टेक दिस एज अ टोटल कॉस्ट?
No.
Now what is my abnormal cost? हमने अभी एबनॉर्मल कॉस्ट पे अभी पुराने जो अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स है उसमें हमने डिस्कस किया था. व्हाट इज एबनॉर्मल कॉस्ट? व्हाट इज एबनॉर्मल कॉस्ट? इज अ स्ट्राइक इज एबनॉर्मल कॉस्ट? यस, स्ट्राइक इज एन एबनॉर्मल कॉस्ट. अभी मेरा 13 सितंबर से लेके 16 नवंबर के बीच में ये कॉस्ट इनकर हो रखा है. नाउ हाउ मच दिस कम्स आउट? 105 plus 30 plus 135. It comes to
330.
330 lakhs. So this is what is this, my normal or abnormal cost?
Abnormal.
Abnormal cost. So is this only my abnormal cost? Should we treat only 330 as my abnormal cost?
No.
What else? And why?
Power.
Huh?
Power.
Nee, power, what power? Power is, no, power is a variable. Okay, power is a variable cost. So I am saying fundamentally ये मेरा कितना है, ये मेरा abnormal cost निकल आया. ठीक है, अभी मेरे को क्या करना है, कंपनी बिगिन वर्किंग फ्रॉम 17 नवंबर से शुरू किया, 16 नवंबर तक स्ट्राइक चला था, करेक्ट?
Yes.
Company started working from 17 November. Production could start effectively beginning from 5th of December. कंपनी शुरू तो हो गई थी 17 नवंबर से, लेकिन प्रोडक्शन शुरू हुआ 5 दिसंबर से. अंडरस्टूड?
Yes.
तो व्हाट इज दिस पीरियड? 17 नवंबर से लेके 5 दिसंबर जब से काम शुरू हुआ, यानी 4 दिसंबर तक कितने दिन हो गए?
19 दिन.
19वें. तो दोबारा चेक चेक करो, 17 नवंबर से काउंट करो. 4 दिसंबर, 5 को काम शुरू हो गया, 5 को मत इंक्लूड करना.
18 दिन.
18 डेज. चेतन, आप कैसे कैलकुलेट कर रहे हो? This is 30 days of November minus how much? 16 equals 14 plus 4 days of December equals 18. Is this clear? तो 16 दिन मेरा, 18 दिन और काम नहीं हुआ है, तो ये मेरी 18 दिन की जो कॉस्ट होगी ये क्या होगी? ये नॉर्मल है एबनॉर्मल है?
Abnormal.
इसको भी ऐड करना चाहिए, करेक्ट? यस और नो?
Yes sir.
अब ये कॉस्ट कैसे निकालोगे बताओ? प्रोपोर्शनेट. तो मेरी टोटल कॉस्ट कितनी है? 1560 आई थी. अब मेरी इसमें से हम क्या करेंगे? वेरिएबल कॉस्ट निकाल लेते हैं, फिक्स कॉस्ट निकालते हैं. मेरी फिक्स कॉस्ट कितनी आ गई? 1560 में से 180 माइनस कर देते हैं, जो मेरी वेरिएबल कॉस्ट है.
1380.
1380 मेरी क्या है? फिक्स कॉस्ट है टोटल, करेक्ट? ठीक है ना?
Yes sir.
नाउ दिस 1300 कितना निकला मेरा? 80. 1380 मेरी क्या है, टोटल फिक्स कॉस्ट है, और फिक्स कॉस्ट मेरी स्ट्राइक पीरियड की कितनी है, 10590 प्लस 135 330। तो मेरी नॉन स्ट्राइक पीरियड की फिक्स कॉस्ट कितनी हो गई, 1380 लेस 330,
1050।
करेक्ट है।
Yes.
So this is my non-strike period cost, fixed cost, correct? वेरिएबल कॉस्ट तो देखो उस समय पे वो तो कंजम्पशन में चली गई, अब मेरी फिक्स कॉस्ट निकल गई मेरी 1050, करेक्ट। अब जो मेरी 1050 है ये मेरी टोटल कॉस्ट है, करेक्ट।
Yes.
फिक्स कॉस्ट मेरी नॉन वो वाले दिन की है, क्या कहते हैं उनको, व्हाट डू वी कॉल दिस एज माय नॉन स्ट्राइक डेज, ओके। तो मेरे टोटल डेज कितने थे,
18।
नॉन स्ट्राइक डेज कितने थे मेरे,
18।
नहीं मेरे नॉन स्ट्राइक डेज कितने थे, 365 डेज टोटल थे, करेक्ट।
Yes.
65 डेज की स्ट्राइक चली, तो नॉन स्ट्राइक डेज कितने होंगे मेरे, क्लियर है।
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, नाउ वी नो दैट ये मेरे नॉन स्ट्राइक डेज थे और ये मेरी नॉन स्ट्राइक डेज की कॉस्ट थी, करेक्ट।
हाँ।
अब मेरे कितने दिन, 18 डेज और मेरे एबनॉर्मल डेज निकले, तो
Yes, sir.
18 डिवाइडेड बाय 300 इट कम्स टू हाउ मच,
3.5।
नहीं यार 18 डिवाइडेड बाय 300 यार,
18 divided by 0.6।
6%, करेक्ट।
Yes. Yes.
तो नाउ 1050 का 6% ले लो,
$63।
ये मेरी और कॉस्ट निकल गई, एबनॉर्मल कॉस्ट।
Yes.
Now this is my abnormal cost for those 18 days, correct?
Yes.
So what is my total abnormal cost now?
$93 lakh।
Clear है?
Yes.
So is this clear to everybody?
Sir, one small request, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I joined the class only now. Can you kindly provide the solution, sir? Is it possible?
Solution I'm sharing with you, no?
Okay, okay. So for next two
Solution.
classes, you will be taking only problems, sir?
See, please understand that. I'm picking a problem and I'm sharing solution also with you. This is the solution.
Okay.
Okay?
Sir. You will be doing problems for next 2 or 3 sessions, sir?
See, please understand that we have to cover both. We have to cover problems and then we have to cover the theory also.
Okay. Okay. Right.
So basically, I told you we are talking about abnormal cost. Okay. So you should know what is called abnormal cost. If you have not read the standard, then you cannot understand what is abnormal cost. अगर आपने पुराना क्लास अटेंड नहीं किया है तो आपको पता नहीं चलेगा abnormal cost क्या है. तो abnormal cost में मेरी strike cost आ जाती है और वो कॉस्ट जो मेरे नॉर्मल ऑपरेशंस में नहीं होता है. अब ये मेरे प्लांट मेंटेनेंस का हिस्सा नहीं है. जब ये दीज 18 डेज जब मेरा प्रोडक्शन शुरू नहीं हुआ, दिस इज माय एबनॉर्मल कॉस्ट अगेन. तो इस पीरियड की हमने कॉस्ट ऐड करके इसमें जो मेरा स्ट्राइक पीरियड की कॉस्ट है उसमें ऐड करके मैंने टोटल एबनॉर्मल कॉस्ट निकाला है. सो इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई वी आर डूइंग दिस कैलकुलेशन. So now we are left with one or two more topics. So after every session, I pick up one or two practical problems also from your that practice session only.